What is up, everyone, and welcome to another edition of The Danny Show. I'm your host, Dan Cody, and this is where I give commentary and reviews on all things wrestling. And before I get started on my review of Worlds Collide, I would like to send a special shout out to new subscriber, Ozion Williams. Thank you for your subscription. And before we get started with the Worlds Collide, I want to ask about something that has been trending in the news lately. As we know, Velveteen Dream, whom T Bar wants to be a 2.0 replica version of. Velveteen Dream was recently arrested on charges I don't know of. However, new information has been surfacing based on opinions from other stars. EC3 revealed that Velveteen Dream had been hiding cameras for very inappropriate reasons. I want to ask, some of you know what those reasons are and what he did with those cameras. I'm not going to get into it completely. It's explicit. However, I want to ask, in your personal opinion, do you think EC3 is telling the truth, or is EC3 lying for fame? Because that's how people act sometimes. So that's my question to you. With that being said, let's get started with NXT World Collides. Great starting tonight with Ricochet and Carmelo Hayes opening the show. We had them open up. Carmelo had the Wall of Shame, with Ricochet being the biggest one there because he's a big name. And it was an amazing match to start the show off. We had both men show athletic skills. It was amazing. I loved how Ricochet went for the moonsault attempt that was followed by the flying clothesline from Carmelo. One of the funny things happened that when Ricochet was going for a chop to the chest on the outside, one of the fans held Carmelo down. Second night in the row, a fan has got involved. This is crazy. But in any event, great match. I love how both men had the same idea of the flying cross body. That was a thing of beauty. We saw a lot of near falls, and due to Trick Williams getting involved, distracting Ricochet, he would fall into a roll up and Carmelo Hayes would get the victory. And I just got to ask, with all due respect, can we please get a heel champion that can do something by themselves? I'm just saying, all due respect to Roman Reigns, but can we please get a champion to do something on his own? Moving forward to number two, we had a four-way elimination match between Gallus, Brooks, and Jensen, APA 2.0 of this generation. Then you had the Creed Brothers, my favorite NXT tag team, and Pretty Deadly. It was a wild start. Even the women fought, but it was a wild start. We saw a lot of high flying. We didn't get to see the cannonball from one of the Creed brothers. Darn it. And another reason I say darn is because Brooks and Jensen, whom I kind of like watching, got eliminated. Brooks and Jensen are an amazing tag team, and they're really good in the ring when Jensen is not making cringy sex jokes. But in any event, they got eliminated first. Then we saw a dream match between the Creed brothers and Gallus, which ended up in the Creed brothers eliminating Gallus, and it took giant security guards. Thank you. Have real security guards instead of cruiserweights. How are you going to have cruiserweight referees being security guards? I'm just saying. But in any event, it was down to Pretty Deadly and the Creed brothers. And Julius Creed, I love how Julius Creed was determined to hit that vertical suplex no matter what. I thought Matt Camp was going to support the Creed brothers. I was really happy because the referee got knocked out due to all the chaos with the Jensen brothers and Gallus. So after that, Matt Camp gets involved and then turns on the Creed brothers. And this is a big plot twist because we heard Roderick Strong had got attacked. And with the way Roderick has been acting, he seems like a bit of a heel getting ready to turn on the Creed brothers. However, it was actually Matt Kemp. So that was a heck of a plot twist and good writing. Also, I thought Roderick Strong was staging an attack like that preacher did in Brooklyn with the robbery scene. But obviously, Roderick Strong is not being inspired by the Brooklyn faker because Roderick Strong was actually attacked and it was a real attack. So, hey, Matt Camp is guilty and Pretty Deadly win. You should have seen my reaction because my jaw was on the floor. I was really rooting for the Creed brothers to win. At number three, we have a triple threat match. We have Sotomura versus Blair Davenport and Mandy Rose. Nice entrance, Mandy, with the car. First off, speaking of Mandy Rose, Wade Barrett, as his partner commentator said, Wade Barrett is a traitor. I'm afraid I've got some bad news. He is a traitor. He doesn't care if you're from his home country. He will only support you if you look like Mandy Rose. Mandy to Wade Barrett is what Trish Stratus and every other attractive woman was to Jerry Lawler in the Attitude and Ruthless Aggression era. I mean, just. So, unless you're Mandy, Barrett is not going to root for you because basically Barrett is a simp for Mandy. Just playing, you guys. I'm just joking. But in any event, like whom you want, that's your right. I was just joking with it. But in any event, it was a great triple threat match. It didn't go as I expected because my money was on Sotomura to win the whole thing. She's a legend. She's one of the best. But tonight, Mandy got some respect on her darn name. She put on a good performance. I love how she suplexed Blair Davenport and Sotomura went for the frog splash. But then later on, everyone kissed the rose of Mandy's knee and Mandy pinned Blair Davenport, and now she is the undisputed women's champion. Women winning the UK and US NXT Women's Champion. And Wade Barrett is aroused. I'm just messing with you guys. But in any event, Wade Barrett is the happiest man on the world right now as Mandy Rose is the undisputed champion. Speaking of Toxic Attraction's tag team would play a huge effect in the next match between Piper Niven and Cross versus KC and KC, as I like to call them for humor and for short, make it easier. The party duo had a very hard match with Piper Niven. First of all, Piper is twerking tonight. What the heck was that? But in any event, after the whole twerking was done, all members of Casey and Casey were isolated. But due to the distraction of Gigi and the other woman, I forgot her name, Toxic Attraction disrupts the whole match. And Casey went for the 450 like double team move on Piper Niven to win the match. And now they're out partying in Orlando because NXT is based in Orlando. So great showing by the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. They won the match. At next match, we covered. Oh, it looks like we've covered everything. We covered number one, number two. Yep, looks like we covered everything. Let's get to the main event. The next match, the last match, was an awesome match. Really great match between Tyler Bate and Braun Breaker. First of all, what was that chant they were giving Tyler at his match at Cardiff with Walter? That C Nation dog you recommended, by the way. You were right. That match was awesome. I think it goes something like Tyler Bate, hey Tyler Bate, something like that. I don't know how to really do the chant, but in any event, great match. I got a quick question though. How come Braun Breaker didn't get a showcase entrance like Tyler Bate did? That's a little unfair, but I'll digress from that. Not a big deal. In any event, great showcase for the NXT UK guys. And I love the entrance. The match started off with great athletic skills, and of course, the fans were very active. They were chanting for Tyler Bate, Tyler Two Belts, and then the Barts came in. That reminded me of Chicago, where also All Out was tonight. And it was in that arena where fans were mixed. Started off with Rocky chants and then turned into Hogan chants when they had that legendary face off before Hogan tried to kill The Rock with a semi truck. And 3 days later, I saw my first episode of Thursday Night SmackDown. Fun fact, when Scott Hall was kidnapped by Stone Cold. In any event, let's get back to this match. Great match. Fans were great. Braun Breaker was is strong in everything. He showed his great skills. Tyler Bate showed his strength in all. Wade Barrett pointed out a very important fact, and that's Tyler Bate is a powerhouse of his own. He may look like a cruiserweight, but if you saw the match between Walter and Tyler Bate at Cardiff, man, Tyler overpowered Walter several times. And that was before Walter lost weight and got that six pack that he has today. But nonetheless, great match. I love how Tyler countered the Hurricanrana attempt by Braun Breaker and turned it into a power bomb. I love how that power bomb was awesome. Another power bomb, which is known to be one of his finishers, gets a 2 count, and Braun Breaker does a power slam that gets a 2 count. The big strong boy, which they were chanting earlier due to that promo that we saw, the big strong boy attempt goes into a spear, which would ultimately win the match, and Braun Breaker would become the NXT Undisputed Champion, winning the NXT Championship from UK and America. And tonight, NXT US has been victorious. Even though Pretty Deadly are the Undisputed Champions, they technically represent NXT US now. But NXT US has showed themselves in charge tonight. So, also great sportsmanship at the end with Braun Breaker and Tyler Bate. It was a great show. What do you think about tonight's broadcast of Worlds Collide? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Also, let me know what you think about EC3's comments on Velveteen Dream in the comments also. That's all the time I have for you today. I'm about to go see what happened in AEW All Out because this has been an incredible weekend to be a wrestling fan. See you next time, folks.